Welcome. And Gilly's already here. Welcome to In Love with Kimberly Michael. I am Kimberly Michael. Um, and hey, everybody, I am currently workcation, having like a mini vacation to see my family. So I'm not where I would normally be. I'm at my mom's. So there's that. And, but I am working. So it's not a full vacation. So, what else? Shout outs. Gilly, because she showed the fuck up. Jay Savage, because he's dope as shit. He's my producer. And we are on savagecom.entertainment on YouTube. Hit the subscribe right off the bat. Hit subscribe, like, comment, share the shit out of the show, and make sure you subscribe. Did I mention to subscribe? Way more important than all the other ones. Subscribe, 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 so that you can get, because we got new shit coming. Me and Jay are working on some shit. So just to let you know. Tonight's show, as always, falls under women in accountability. However, I saw again memes. Saw a meme that said something about, it didn't say stop praying for a man, but it said stop. Yeah, it says something like stop praying for a man and be the type of woman that a man is praying for, like something to that, or you want to be the woman that the man is praying for. And I say this all the time, and I've said it, I'm sure Gilly can tell you, not that you think I'm lying, but I say all the time, like, I know in my heart of hearts, I know that my person is like looking, desperately seeking me, right? Whether he's preparing himself or whatever, I know that he's on the same journey as me and is desperately looking. Is he praying for me? I mean, that'd be dope if he prayed a thankful prayer for my already existing self. That would be dope. So, but tonight's show is about, are you the type of woman that a man would pray for? Like, can you sit up here with me and Gilly and be like, absolutely, if a man were on his knees praying to God, if he was that serious, regardless of his religion, praying to his creator, whatever name you want to put in after praying to, but praying to his creator, his God, for a woman, do you feel that you're that type of woman? Because obviously we're asking the wrong questions to women. Obviously us saying, you have toxic behavior, you need to heal your, obviously those things don't work. So this is a new context, if you will. Are you honestly the type of woman that a man would lay down at night, that is committed to this degree and is praying for? Are you her? And what does her look like? I am not talking about, are you a 10 or an 11 or a 6 or a 5? Or do you have this in your bank account? This is not how me acknowledge or address value. So I'm definitely not, don't, if you want to call in, you can, but please don't call in like, I make this and I do this and I'm an entrepreneur and I'm smart. Okay, perfect. I love that you are. I appreciate that you are, but that's not what we're talking about. We're talking about the real shit that counts when it comes to a man. So Gilly's already got booted off, which sucks. So hopefully she'll call back in. Are you that type of woman? Because listen, I'm gonna be honest with you. So I'm down in Florida on staycation, workcation, like I said. Oh Lord, y'all have to excuse me again. I'm not at my place. I don't know. Can't mess with my mother's computer. It's making all kinds of noise. And I've been a multitude of places, kind of hanging out with a multitude of people that aren't normally in my sphere. Women, younger generational women, all that kind of thing. Some of them I know, some of them I didn't know. Some of it was just like kind of conversation at a pool type of thing. You know what I mean? Just random conversation with random people. And I actually witnessed multiple conversations over the weekend, women speaking to men. And I'm gonna be honest, I felt some kind of way about for the men. I mean, I know I'm a little biased towards men, and I understand that, I definitely am pro man. For those of you who are new and watching, I always say I'm pro man, I'm pro black, and I am very pro black man. So women were having these conversations with some men, and in my head, everything we talk about repeatedly on here came back, but one thing specifically is this woman creating an environment of peace for this man, just in the conversation, like just in the conversation, you know. And then I had people that are in my sphere, say, ask my opinion about the conversation or what went on. And I was like, I don't think you want me to engage, because maybe it's me, maybe it's my age, maybe I'm past the generation. But the other girls that were there that were in her age bracket were disagreeable with me, because I was like, I feel like you're confusing the universe, basically. Like, you're saying this to this person, but you're also doing this on your own, at your own. You're doing it too. So for you to question someone who's doing this, and because that answer wasn't receptive, it wasn't well received, I should say. The next question was, to me, I guess, was, well, he did it to me. Like, he said it to me. Okay, so you're reciprocating negative energy? So I say this all the time. I can't speak for men. I don't know what men want. There are general things that they want. There are specific things that they want. There are tribes of men that want certain things, and tribes of men that want other things, and tribes of men that have fetishes, and all of those fetishes are unique, and all of the women that they're interested in and attracted to is unique. I say this all the time as well too. Everybody ain't the one, but the one is. He's him. So everybody you run across is not the one. And listen, again, I'm speaking from a place of experience. I'm not just blah 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 and I ain't got shit to talk about. Okay. I definitely was a time when just about every man I ran across, I was like, oh, maybe he's the one. He might be it. He might be the one. Ah. And the bottom line is, I can honestly say, this is back maybe 5, 6 years ago, I was definitely not the type of woman that a man would be praying for. Not because I wasn't loyal or smart or any of those things, but I was just so incredibly broken that the behaviors that I carried were just excessively toxic. And we talk about toxicity on the show all the time. And we're going to touch on it tonight, of course. And these are the things that I think, maybe if we put it in relationship to a man's praying for me. So is a man praying for a woman that is difficult? I saw another, I wish I could come off here and look. I saw another post, and it was like something that a man wants. It was like a one-liner, or how do you know a man loves you, or something like that. And the second one was, how do you know a woman does, and something about her being angry all the time or something. I mean, honestly, you guys, we got to stop the shit. Okay. We cannot keep pushing these narratives, because no man is on his knees praying for an angry woman. Think about what the fuck think about this for just 2 seconds. Okay. Just longer than 2 seconds. Let's talk about it. Do you think a man is on his hands and knees at night praying to his creator, asking him for a woman who's angry, a woman who's difficult, a woman who's aware of her trauma and her pain, but hasn't healed any of it? Do you think that he is looking for an independent woman? Do you think he's praying for a woman that is going to show up submissive when he enters into her life? Hell no. Oh, I wish some of the men would call in, because let me tell you something. There is no way in hell you're about to tell me that men are out here on their hands and knees praying to God for a woman with anger issues, with attitudes, with problems. You're not about to tell me that that's what he's praying for. He's not saying, I want a loyal woman. It's okay if she got an attitude. I want a kind woman, but it's okay if she's angry. I want a compassionate woman that cares for other people, but it's okay if she's, I won't say violent, but aggressive, physically aggressive. Because I've seen, not personally per se, but I've seen women, videos and, out in public too, like in people's face, like in a man's face, like this. Personally, for me, I'm not trying to be in a man's face for a multitude of reasons. It's just disrespectful, and there's just no reason for it. It does not change the direction of the conversation, um, as far as comprehension goes. They're not going to comprehend you anymore if you're up in their face, screaming and hollering at them, or pointing your finger in their face, or whatever it is that you're doing. But at the end of the day, we really need to address the fact that we may not be the woman that a man would be praying for a multitude of reasons. Now, of course, we can break this down 52 different ways, and we can say, again, style, weight, 11, financials, all of those things. But that's not what we're saying. And I mean, I think a lot. I don't know about y'all, but I think a lot sometimes about my mouth because I do say fuck a lot. I have a dirty mouth. I have a filthy mouth. I'm very bold. I'm very brave with my words. I'm very brazen with some of my words. Um, I hang out with a lot of guys, and I talk like they do, and I'm comfortable speaking about anything. So if the conversation goes from real estate to sex, I can be in both of those conversations. If the conversation goes from love to anger and vengeance, I can be in those conversations as well. So it is about certain specific, maybe I don't want to say physicalities, but I just think that we as women, as I've said all along, need to be accountable for our behavior. Um, we spoke last week about creating generational curses, not um, breaking them and not creating generational blessings, but creating actual generational curses. And there was a meme and a lady in front of her, and I posted it on the chat last time. And there was a lady in her 3 children, and she says, when my husband says he don't like my attitude, and hey, Silky Savage, I just found the chat. Y'all already know. And hopefully Gilly's going to come back on. And anyway, I lost my train of thought. I've lost my train of thought. But the meme, the video, and she said, my husband don't like my attitude, but I've already, what's the word? Not mimic. She's already cloned 3 of her, and so they're all dressed the same. Her 3 girls, and they're all like with attitude. And I'm saying it. She's not just going around with an attitude, and then that came from her mom because her mom had an attitude, or grandma because grandma had an attitude. She is literally manifesting in her and her children's life an attitude. She's creating that narrative for her seeds. She's creating a narrative where her women, her girls, will grow up to be women with attitudes, and then have the nerve to tell them to wait on a high value man, value in this case being financially valuable, knowing good and damn how well a financially valuable man would not want a woman with an attitude. Why? When there's plenty of women who will suck, lick, and fuck him all night long and close their damn mouths, not because it's a healthy situation, just because they will. They're broken in a different way than other women are broken, right? You feel me? So maybe we should address that. Let's talk about that real quick now that I said I don't have any paper to write anything down. I'm so out of my space right now. But let's just talk about that real quick. So what about the women, right, who are creating generational curses? And I forgot what I was going to say. And see, this is why I need my pen and pencil, because this chocolate wine is not for me. It's not it. So anyway, we'll go back to it when my brain comes back around. But I don't know that us creating generational curses, do we not know that we're doing that? I mean, what do we not understand that we're doing this? Do we not understand that we are literally setting up a false narrative for our children? Oh, I know I was going to say broken women, like high value men, financially high value specifically, because I don't speak on them because that's not how I hold a man valuable. That doesn't give value to me. Finances doesn't give a man value to me. I would like him to be self-sufficient, but him having 6 figures or so many figures, or there's no fucking number requirement for me. You know what I mean? Can you work? Do you work? I mean, really, that's all I kind of need to know. That works for me, right? I'm not going to value a man based on how much his salary is. That just seems utterly absurd to me. So, thanks everybody for showing up again. Subscribe, like, comment, and share the shit out the show, please. And if you're commenting, I'm sorry, my comments are not showing up, so I can't see that there's chats in the comment. Everybody's welcome to come in. Jay is going to put the link in the chat right now. So if you want to come up and you want to have a conversation and we can talk about this, we can. So let's talk about that. Let's talk about creating a generational curse, like the attitude. No matter how beautiful you are, a high value man, I would say, I could be wrong. So if a man wants to come on here and negate this, feel free. But I feel like a man that has that kind of money, if he could choose between a woman that was broken with an attitude and a woman that was silently broken, in other words, she's broken, but her brokenness leads her to just be completely submissive in the worst way that you could be submissive. She submits out of obligation and out of something she wants, right? She's submitting because she thinks that will make him like her more or love her more. So she's not even submitting because she's submitting per her nature. She is quiet and reserved, and she does everything he desires because she is broken. Now, I'm not suggesting that all financial high value men choose women like that. And now we can go down to high value men that are spiritually, emotionally, and mentally valued, that their character and their integrity is at a much higher level than most men, right? They have 2 women in front of them. A loud ass, broken woman with an attitude, who's had an attitude her whole life, or a healed woman that carries her own integrity at 100%, and she's her emotions and her mental stability are at a high, if you will. Like, who do we truly think he's going to choose? Interesting. So, why on earth would we be creating women that men aren't even praying for? Because I could be wrong. And again, if a man wants to come on here and say something, please feel free. But why in the hell would you be praying for a woman with an attitude? God, give me everything I ever asked for in a woman, and please make sure she's got an attitude, because that's all that matters to me. Yet we're creating it in them and then crying because we don't have access to the men that we want to have access to, right? Blaming the men for absolutely everything. I don't know if it was this show or my show on Podbean, but we had a conversation about victim mentality, and somebody brought it up about the victim mentality. And I kind of feel like all women are like that now. Now that let's look it back up. I'm going to look it back up real quick. But I'm kind of thinking in this conversation that we're having right now that a lot of women have this victim mentality, because if you think about it, mentality, let's see, exact definition. Of course, we know what victim mentality is. Someone feels that bad things keep happening then no matter what. Okay, so let's just be honest. Women think that fucking bad men happen to them. Am I lying? Am I lying? None of the circumstances or situations are their fault. None of the circumstances or situations with the men are their faults. This is exactly what's going on. Women have succumbed to this victim mentality and the behavior behind it. Oh, I'm this way because this man did this to me. I'm this way because this man did this to me. I'm this way because this man did this to me. I have this many children because these men did these things to me. Right? Victim mentality. What's the behavior? They develop a negative view of life where they feel that they don't have any control over what happens to them. So maybe that's what's happening here. Maybe women have this victim mentality, and because they truly do, as far as I'm concerned, just about every woman I talk to, and let me be clear about this. Let me say this too. They not all blaming, they're blaming their past men that they chose, by the way. And I'm thinking in my head while I'm talking, I wonder if they say I'm fucked up because of my daddy. I suppose there are some men. I suppose there are some women. But this victim mentality has got to stop. I want the attitude to be in the bedroom in a good way. Hey, K Boogie. Hey, boo. I think they hold on to that victim mentality. Yeah, I think so too. I think so too. Attitude in the bedroom in a good way. Okay, well, yes, of course. Yes, 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 yes. I was just talking about that. Hey, Eric. So yes, attitude in the bedroom. I mean, that's role play. That's, yes, of course, most of us will be bad about it. But I mean, now that we're talking about it and look at it, these victim mentalities that are going on with the women that are using that's really, it truly is what it is. It's like an epiphany tonight, y'all. Like, oh, these bitches are on some victim mentality. And I got to stop saying that. These heifers, these women, I'm just going to go back to calling them women. And I don't mean it. I got a young friend, unfortunately, and she calls everybody a bitch. And I pick it up. And I've been trying to stop for a long time because I literally was talking to my mom and I was like, let me tell you something, bitch. And I was like, oh, I can't do that. Like, I'm not a huge fan, but I'm not going to talk to my mom that way. So I'm going to take it out of the vocabulary immediately. With that being said, since there's a whole bunch more people on here, hey, everybody, subscribe, like, share the shit out of the show. I'll come on and chat. Well, come on, Eric, bring your booty on here, baby. Let's go. Because I would love to talk to a man about this. Like, do you really think that women blame? I think they blame men for fucking everything. I think women blame men for their emotional state, their mental state. I think they blame men for the predicaments that they're in. I think they blame men for babies that they have. I think they blame men for their attitudes. I think they blame men for everything. I think that this is a generational curse as well, but I think this is generational narratives where the men have been blamed on purpose. And listen, I've read on all types of scenarios. I read something the other day. It's another, narrative that goes around basically where the mentality started, like in the slave days, like I was this and you couldn't help me. This happened to me and you didn't help me. And this happened to me and you didn't help me. You didn't say me. And they're and saying that mindset of a man not stepping up started and the breakdown of the family started during slavery. Could it very well contribute? Hell yeah. But at the end of the day, everything contributes. At this point right now where we are, everything that has happened since all of us has showed up here in America has been, as far as I'm concerned, created. And you ain't gonna come on here and talk about a theory with me, because I believe a lot of it is true. I'm absolutely believing it's not a theory for me. I absolutely believe in systemic racism and oppression and genocide, and it's nonsense to be in the position that we're in, have access to the information that we have, and not be able to heal a lot of these issues that we have, and this victim mentality. Stephen, I'm in need okay, let me read Stephen. Hey, Steve, laughing my ass off. Yes, I'm in need everything a truly submissive woman to me I don't like. My opinion, that's whack. Someone that just listens, agree with your every word, boring. I need a fuck you here and now. So Steve's feeling a little frisky tonight, apparently, and that's fine. That's cool too. But right, right. Of course, not every woman wants just somebody to shut up and do everything they say, right? But I did run across this guy. I hung out with him twice, maybe a few months ago, I guess. And oh, Lord have mercy, he was he was like that. He was like, you know, you can clean the bathroom. And I was like, you cannot talk to me that way. Like, I didn't talk to him that way, but because I don't talk like everybody else. So, and then he said something about the kitchen. He said something about the dining room, the tablecloth, that it was his grandmother's who had passed, and he made a comment about it. And so finally, you know, I sat down with him and I said, you know, as pleasantly as I could, I would really appreciate the opportunity for you to learn me before you start obligating me to do shit. Because if you obligate me, I'm not doing anything. I'm just automatically, I'm gonna take care of a man automatically. Well, get your ass up here, Gilly. I'm automatically gonna take care of a man. I'm automatically gonna cook for him. I'm automatically gonna clean up in the space that we're in. It doesn't matter to me what he does when I'm not there. But if I'm in the space with him, I am going to do these things because that's just who I am, period. You don't have to tell me to do anything. If you have laundry laying around, I'm probably going to do it. If the kitchen's messy, I'm probably going to clean it up. If the bathroom's dirty, I'm probably going to clean it up as well too. If the bed needs to be made, I'm probably going to make the bed. Sheets need to be done, whatever. Like whatever you can bring up, I'm more than likely I'm going to do that in that space. This isn't about me giving a man something he's not worthy of and all this other shit. And we're not married and we're not this. And where's Eric? I thought Eric was coming up. I haven't seen him pop up yet. And Gilly hasn't gotten her ass back on here either. Steve can come on too. All that talk he's talking out there. But anyway, and what is it? 9:37. Just for the record, you guys, I'm going to try to keep it at an hour tonight. I'm driving back to Alabama tomorrow. It's an 8-hour drive and I got to be up early. So I'm going to do my best to keep it at a minimum. So if you guys are coming up here, get your asses up there. There's the link. Jay just posted it. I'm folding laundry now. So where the heck you at, Kimberly? I'm right here, Steve. So what's going on? What are you waiting on? Come get me. What's going on, sir? How you doing?
What's happening?
What's happening? Thanks for showing up, Eric. I appreciate you.
Oh, I hear a double echo for some reason.
You do. I
Yes.
have not changed anything. Is it really bad for you? Is it bad for everyone else?
It's like you're talking and then later on I hear you again.
Steve got YouTube flags on fire. Okay, hey chat, do we echo or is it just Eric? Turn your YouTube off, Eric E. What do I do now?
That's probably what it is. Probably YouTube. Okay.
Did that help?
That's what it was. It was the YouTube I had going on at the same time.
Great. So first question, real quick, just so we can get some background, because I have never talked to you as of yet. I'm almost positive that I follow a show that you're on though. So
Yes.
And so are you a praying man?
I sure am.
Okay, and are you married?
I am married right now. Yes.
Mm-hmm. And did you pray for her?
I sure did. I sure did. For quite a while, I prayed for someone who was also a praying woman that believed in the same spiritual God that I believe in.
Very important. Very, very important. Mm-hmm. And I'm not going to assume, so I'm going to ask, did you or did you not pray for a woman with an attitude? Did you say, God, please, I need just the most perfect woman, but I need her to have a little attitude because I don't like, whatever. I mean, is that one of your prayers, for a woman with an attitude, a broken woman, any of those things?
The only attitude I prayed for was a positive attitude. because anything that's negative is not, it definitely wasn't what I was looking for, because I was, the world is already full of negativity. So for me to go and try to pray for a woman who's had a bad attitude, I can find them out in the street. I mean, you can tell by the way they walk and by the way they talk, and so the type of person I prayed for was someone who was, um, God sent, pretty much,
Mm-hmm.
and not the one that was man sent. I'm not looking for a person who's looking at the outer appearance. I'm looking for the person who can reach me on the inside,
Right.
who can go deep with me, because the person on the outside, you start seeing all the scars, but when you deal with the inner part of a person, you're able to heal from the inside out.
Right.
You understand what I'm saying?
Oh,
Besides
yeah.
putting something on the outer skin,
Right.
it may not work, but the healing on the inside can work just as good.
Right. No, that's a beautiful statement, actually, and it's probably the best statement I've heard in a while, and it's totally true. We are so fixated on looks, and we are so fixated on how we appear to other people. And I think that we bring that home. So we get home and then we start pretending in front of each other as well too,
Yes, yes,
Yes,
yes.
yes. Hmm.
because haven't we haven't addressed the inner self, and we don't learn the inner portion of the person. We're literally just out here in the same facade that we have um have maintained socially, whether it's social media, work. Nobody wants to go to work, and I mean, some women do, I know, but most women, okay, I can't say this because I talk to women all the time and they're incredibly negative and they dog their husbands. I remember I remember everybody that I ever knew,
Uh-huh.
cousins, friends, and they would say to me, "You never church." When I was in church, I'm not in church now, but when I was in church, church folk would be like, "You never say anything bad about your husband," and I'm not going to. I'm not.
That's
I'm
good.
not
That's
going to
good.
You didn't
be.
for years. You didn't.
Yeah, I'm not
You
going to
never
publicly.
disparaged him.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Um, I'm never going to speak badly about my and publicly about anybody, but especially my husband. And I
That's
think we're
good.
at one or the other, right? The women are either holding them at this, on a pedestal, almost narcissistically, like he's fabulous, he's this, he's that, and then the minute she walks in the door, she gets choked. So, um,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? And I'm speaking from experience. I mean, that was my life. I man, when I left my ex, oh my God, when I tell you, everybody lost their
Mm.
shit. You're lying. This can't be real. We looked up to you guys. I was like, man, I played that shit really well.
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
But
And
it's not always for everybody. When a relationship is between two people. Not unless you start inviting the outsiders in. Now it's no longer a relationship, it's a group ship.
right.
So
I
you
mean,
you, you don't want to share all your baggage that you have. You want to be able to hold them in, because even God says sometimes you just have to be silenced and pray for that person to be dealt with by God. But if we try to do it, we have a tendency to go out there on social media to call our girlfriend, boyfriend, friend, social ship friend, everybody who's not a
right,
friend, pretty much.
right, right. And they're not spiritually. I think too that we don't. Now, I accept anyone spiritually into my life. It doesn't matter to me who you are, what you believe in. I have a different idea about religion, and definitely have a different idea about Jesus. And when I do speak on him, if he existed in the sense that it's portrayed that he existed in, then we have misread everything about him, because
Mhm.
he did not stand in judgment. He did not care about where the people that he surrounded himself were spiritually. He didn't care about their past and where they came from. He was more about the fact that they were healing and on this journey to stay
Right.
connected to their creator, and
Right.
not separate themselves, and
Right.
so I accept anyone, atheist, Islam, it makes me no difference. As long as you're not, as long as you're not here to convert me to whatever belief structure that you have, right? I have my own relationship with God that exists with me, and I know, I am positive that when I do start praying again, that the man that I pray for, I'm not going to be praying for attitudes. I'm not going to be praying for almost healed. I'm not going to be praying for almost anything. You understand what I'm saying? I'm going to be praying for a man with integrity and character, and with that's able to lead me spiritually, and who's able to love me in a whole healing manner. And if that's what men are praying for on top of, and if I'm wrong, say this, but most men at the end of the day, bottom line, want peace. That's what I say.
Most definitely. Peace is everything. And I believe you can't have peace not unless you got love in your heart. You have to have love in your heart in order for that peace to come about. I want to bring up something that you was talking about as far as the outer appearance. Most people have that outer appearance that attracts one person to another. But back in the day, see, we was taught that growing up as a little kid. We looked at a book, and we didn't care if it had words. We just want to look at the pictures. The picture was all that was good to us. But as we get older and we start reading, not only looking at the pictures, but putting the pictures to the side and reading what's in the book, we now have more wisdom and more knowledge of what the picture is all about versus assumption. So we have to do that as far as relationship as well. Yes, it's beautiful. Women are beautiful. Men are handsome men as long as they carry a positive attitude.
Right,
Because
exactly.
you can be a Halle Berry, or a Beyonce and have the nastiest mouth, and I don't care nothing about you.
But
that doesn't please me. That please the person. That please the man like Stephen, whoever he was, that just want to rock it in the bed and then just kick him out the door. It appease that type of audience. It doesn't appease me when you got a nasty attitude. I love peace. Peace in the home makes a good relationship, and it just creates a great bondage between the two people.
I absolutely agree. And I say it all the time. Like and we have this conversation. I hear Gilly, or I heard her, but I don't see her. So I'm assuming she's on here and she can talk. But, it's a joke. It's not a joke, but it's kind of a joke. And she's like, you need to stop fucking with these pretty boys. But it's not on purpose. Okay. Because it doesn't matter to me. I've also dated, I'm just going to be honest, unattractive men, because I could be in the presence of the most beautiful man on the planet. Women are going crazy about him, and he could open his mouth and ruin everything for me. Everything. I could care less what he's got going on after he opens his mouth, because no matter how cut up he is, no matter what, I don't have physical stuff, but if he had physical things that I would be attracted to, it wouldn't matter to me at that point, because you can blow it. And the same with women. I've met, looked at a woman and been like, oh my God, she's so pretty. And then she opened her mouth and I'm like, wow, the amount of things that just poured out of you literally just covered you in darkness. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
I mean,
yes.
And I'm past that. And I mean, we definitely, as a society, especially men and women, and especially Black men, especially, there's such a divisive narrative at every angle that there can be one, right? So it's divisive about skin color. It's divisive about Black women. It's divisive about white women. It's divisive about financials. It's divisive about literally every aspect. And if we don't start understanding, like you said, that we have to really, truly connect with people on a spiritual level again, Yeah. And maybe it's not even again. Maybe again's not an appropriate word.
Yeah.
A lot of men and women met. My grandparents only knew each other a few weeks and they got married and stayed married for 50 years. And the shit was toxic as shit. I mean, just toxic.
You're right.
What I mean?
Just because you're married doesn't mean it's going peaches and cream.
Right. And the old relationships the same. Don't you think a lot of the old men and women that have been together for a very long 50, 60 years and back from the 20s and 30s, like there's a lot of toxicity in the relationships.
Yeah. But one thing I want to say is even a relationship, just because it doesn't work out doesn't mean that both parties are toxic. It could be, like you said, a person has baggage from their previous relationship and it bleeds over into the current relationship, which causes problems and things of that nature. Therefore, what you thought was good after you had a conversation in the beginning, that no, I'm not bringing baggage into the relationship. But somehow later on in the relationship, it does bleed. Somehow that bandage is uncovered and it start bleeding into the new relationship. So then a person is not no longer feeling the relationship. So what do? I tell you what you do. The Bible says if someone wants to leave, especially in a marriage, let them leave. Meaning don't try to keep anyone who wants to leave. Let them go, because that's actually from God. He said, but if they don't want to leave, pray for them. Pray for them in the midst of them staying. And that's how we deal. We don't come combative of every relationship. Like I see what you put, Stephen, but he's only married right now. Tomorrow he may not be. Tomorrow, no, even preachers get divorced. It doesn't mean that they both are the issue. It's just that they both may not be compatible at that moment. When they first got together, they probably were soulmates, but somehow it was something that drew somebody back, or pulled up something from the graveyard, or it can be insecurities, it can be whatever, but it doesn't mean that both parties are toxic. It just that mean that one person just can't stand the heat in the kitchen, and you don't know how to turn on the AC, or you don't know how to turn on a fan to bring the heat down and things of that nature.
I mean, I am agreeing with that. I feel like two things happen. Well, actually, there's three things involved. This is just me. I think that people send representatives and they hang on to every aspect of that representative that they can until they can't anymore, because it's really not truly who they are in the depths of their soul, whether it's good or bad or indifferent. And so even if their insecurity isn't something for them to be insecure about, if they can't hold on to the security of it when it comes out, then shit can go awry, right?
Yeah.
I think people evolve, and I'll tell this story. I've told it before, but probably not on the show. I would be stagnant for so long. I was with my ex for 20 years, and I would be stagnant for so long that when I would get a little information and begin to evolve, I could feel it coming. I could feel it in the depths of my soul. I'm like, something's about to shift in my being. And I would sit down with my ex all the time, and I would be like, I'm about to evolve. And I really need for you to step up and kind of get with your evolution and, evolve. And it was many years, 10 years, and probably 20 conversations, maybe a couple times a year, or, however many times it happened, maybe 5 and 10 years, every other year, who knows? But I remember one time he would always say to me, you have to evolve on your own. You have to do your own journey. I'm agreeing with that. I believe that too. Right. But 100s, I got to write this down so I can talk about this too. I believe that too. But one time he said to me, why do you keep coming to me and telling me that you're evolving? Like, what is your purpose? Like, what are you telling me for? And I said, because I'm afraid that I will evolve past you and then I'm out. Like, I'm not going to just keep evolving and you stay stagnant and this is going to continue. And I would say that's what happened, but it happened at the lowest level of vibration that it could happen at. I did evolve, but what I evolved past was the abuse. I could not physically, mentally, emotionally, and spiritually take it anymore. You know what I mean? And he never wanted to step out of his cycle. And I was desperately seeking to get in a different cycle, something different, you know? And, but so I think people evolve, and I think also these false narratives that we have. Relationships have to be difficult. Women have to be upset. You know, men have to do this, and a great woman is going to be hard, and she's going to challenge you at every turn, and this and that. Those are false narratives, because the reality is that if we go into these relationships with people healed, sit the fuck down for 5 minutes and heal the deepest wounds that we have. And when I say that, this is another thing that maybe I've been saying, maybe I should add to that. But I'm not just saying heal your wounds. I'm saying heal your bad behavior. Take time to figure out what toxic behavior that you carry, and take the time to adjust them. It's just like walking, learning to run, going to the gym. You're not going to get up and start running 5 miles a day. That's not how it happens. You have to start running. I started running street light by street light. That's how I would run one street light, and I would walk 2. Then I would run to the next street light, walk 2. I had to train myself to run. Didn't have to train myself to unrun, though. That shit took no time at all. I just quit running. But I'm saying, like, we talk about healing, and we talk about doing these things and making these steps, but I don't know that we talk about the bad behavior that needs to be rectified after you heal the wound. Because just because you've healed something, I'm a perfect example. Just because you heal something doesn't mean that you have altered the behavior that followed that wound. It just means heal that wound. It doesn't maybe affect you the same way. It doesn't come out necessarily the same way, but the behavior does. You know, we have to take the time to adjust that.
And one thing that was very important that you just said, that Kim, and one thing that we have to understand, we have to treat our inner self as if, just like we are to take a bath daily. When just like we should die in our sins daily, you know, ask God to forgive us. When we wash our face, we should in turn look at the inner part of us and say, okay, now that I have cleaned my outer self, what can I clean on the inside? You know, and what can I get rid of that was baggage, that is a waste, that needs to be flushed? You know, we take our car and we get tune-ups, but we don't want to take our inner self and get a tune-up. We don't want to change the person who's in the mirror. But in fact, we want to put on this facade. We want to put on this mask and make it seem like everything is pretty. Put on the eyelashes and makeup. But we still that same person in the mirror. It's just that when we wipe it off, we're still there. We have to do the same thing with our inner self and say, man, the way my mouth was today, the way I got an attitude today, the way I put this man down today when his potential was to please me. His potential was to please me, but I went off on him because he didn't fulfill the thing that I wanted. But he gave his all, but he just didn't fulfill that potential. And that's what women have to understand, or men has to understand, is that when you see someone trying their best, because I'm gonna tell you, a man will not please a woman entirely, and a woman will not please a man entirely. That gap has to be filled by God. I think there's no woman that can please a man in his entirety. That gap has to be, because I'm gonna tell you like this: Jesus was a perfect man; he couldn't please everybody. So who are you to think that you will be able to please someone wholeheartedly? And I can use this analogy as an example. I can give 3 people $100. I can give one $100 bill. I can give another one $250 bill, and I can get the other one 5 20s. The one with 5 20s may be mad at me because I didn't give them $100 bill. So no matter how hard you try, it's the person who's receiving. Life is not what comes your way, it's how you respond once it do come.
That is, I almost agree with all of that. And I'm going to think about the Jesus being a perfect man thing, because I believe in perfection, and I'm going to tell you why. Because I don't believe the same things other people do. I don't believe in reciprocity. I don't believe in compromise. And I'm going to tell you, I believe in perfection. Because if we were to go biblically, God makes no mistakes. So we are all perfect in where we are in our journey. Perfection does not mean necessarily good. But you may have to be in some toxic behavior. You may have to deal with some toxicity within yourself in the scenario to become who you were intended to be. And I believe if you wait and you're patient, and again, I have no right speaking on patience. I have no patience. And probably if I prayed a little, if I started praying for the person that I'm preparing myself for, maybe he would then show up. But so I'm not patient about it. All my friends know, they're like, my God, are you on it again today? Like, somewhere we know, right? But perfection is the condition, state, or quality of being free. And it does say, or as free as possible from all flaws or defects. And some people, I think we confuse so many words and twist so many things. Toxic behavior, a flaw, and I use this example all the time, that I'm loud as shit, and I curse a lot, right? But that doesn't define me. It's definitely part of who I am. Everybody knows I'm loud. To one man, they would be like, you too loud. You can't be loud all the time. Like, you can't talk that loud. You can't speak that loud. I'm not loud like mean and ugly loud, like motherfucker. I'm not that kind of loud. I'm just loud. I talk loud. I am loud. I dress loud. Passionately loud, you know. But another man would be like, that's my baby. Let her talk, baby. Because when she get passionate and she get that, you know, that's not, somebody would be like, that's not a flaw. My loudness isn't a flaw. Me cussing you out in the restaurant is a bad behavior, and that's a flaw, right? That's a toxic behavior. No man wants to be that. And I don't know if you were on yet when I was saying I heard a bunch of conversations over the weekend. I was able to be, you know, in the room with a bunch of women that I didn't know, and listen. And the way that they talk to some of these men, you know, and then they're asking me, well, what do I, you don't want to know what I think, because I would not speak to a man like that. You know, I was around one of my closest friends this weekend, and he does not hold back when it comes to me. And I'm not mad at him about that. But, you know, he was like, you know, one of the things he started to speak to me about, I was sitting there and he was like, he said one thing, whatever he said. And he said, with your defensive ass. And I said, I'm not defensive. And he said, look at your body language. Look how you're sitting. You are definitely defensive. And I was like, immediately, you know, had to breathe and be like, okay, I am defensive. I have to be receptive to that. And one of the reasons I was receptive to it is because he came at me a year ago and said, you say that you are all these things and you want to be submissive to a man, yet you're not receptive to a man when he speaks to you and tells you shit that's challenging you. So which one is it? You know? And I was like, you ain't about to tell me, you know, and I'll talk to you later. You know what I mean? But we don't talk that way now. And we don't have those type of interactions now, because now when I'm not being receptive, he makes me aware, and I'm aware that I may not be being receptive, and I have to be in the moment and be receptive, whether I take what he's giving me and run with it, or whether I just take it as, okay, you've said your piece and I'm still going to move this way. Right. But we as women with this victim ass mentality, you know, like, you ain't about to tell me this and you ain't about to tell me that. And they stay there because what they're not going to do is let a man tell them what they should do or how they should change, when really that's not what you're doing. What you're doing is speaking to them at the spiritual level that you're supposed to speak to them to lead them. But at this point, women can't even be led.
Yeah, but men don't really want to tell a woman to change. We want to show women that we are the reason, what we do for you and what we bring to the table. You should want to change. It comes to the point where women just and men just say, "Man, will you just listen? Just listen to yourself. Look at the way that you're acting." I don't want to tell you to change. I mean, I can't make you change. You have to be able to change on your own. And by me trying to be a protector, by me trying to love you, by me trying to be a provider, by me trying to just show you, baby, we can just get along. Every argument is not a disaster for war. Every difference we have is not a disaster for war. It's okay to have difference. It's healthy to have difference. But it's what we do to talk it out. Out. Don't yell it out. And if a person doesn't want to change, to me, and it means I hate to say it, it's a type of immaturity.
I mean,
because sometimes it is, if you really look at it, and you're in a relationship and you're all about self, and you don't want to cater to the relationship, because in a relationship, both parties going to have to sacrifice something.
Well,
they're going to have to. Yeah, I do believe, because I'll give you an example. If we go on a trip and I want to go left and you want to go right, I'm going to have to sacrifice and say, okay, babe, we'll go right.
Mm-hmm.
If another day we go on another trip and I want to go left and you want to go right, and I said, baby, let's go left this time, she's going to have to sacrifice and say, okay, let's go left. So that's what I mean. During a relationship, somebody going to have to give. If not, it's going to be a divided relationship the entire time.
Well, is it okay? Let's look up. Because I'm all about the word sacrifice. I'm just going to be honest with you. I have a huge. I just want to see like what the actual definition is. So sacrifice means an act of slaughtering. Okay, obviously that's not it. An animal. Well, actually, so here we are. We're not even using it in the. I mean, they offer sacrifices to the spirit. It's literally the noun is the act of slaughtering an animal or person, or surrendering a possession as an offering to God or to a divine or supernatural figure. Offer to kill as a religious sacrifice. Let's see if there's other terms for it. Just out of curiosity. An act of giving up something valued for the sake of something else regarded as more important or worthy.
Right.
Like my soul.
Yeah, right, exactly. Right. So it says two people are on. So I know Gilly's on with no video. Who else is on with no video?
I mean, hi, what I'm saying.
Hey, Gilly.
Bye. Yeah. It did say two people. I saw that.
Yeah. So with audio and no verbiage. So are you? Jay. Oh. I can't stand. Okay, so you're saying some women sacrifice their souls?
Absolutely. You know the situation I'm in. Every single day that I put up with this, I'm sacrificing a little more of my soul. I don't even know how much I have left.
But
you saying you're humbling yourself?
Humble. I'm selling myself short, sir.
Okay, so your situation is personal, pretty much. Or you talking about in a general?
No, yeah, personal. But okay. I was throwing in the fact that sacrifice could also be you're sacrificing your mental well-being. You're sacrificing a piece of you. You're sacrificing rearing your children. Just a lot of things.
Well, okay. Look at it in terms of submissive.
Oh, I'm totally too submissive.
It's submissive. You're catering to the needs of the other person, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah.
To put aside your needs and cater to their needs.
Yes,
and that's what I mean by by that that sacrifice. I'm giving up something for something in
That's
return.
a fine line, sir, because you can easily end up slipping over that line and giving up too much of yourself.
Well, I'm not saying every time, but there's every moment, every day, every hour it's a determination, baby. What are we gonna eat today, baby? I want to eat pizza.
It's
baby,
a compromise.
no, let's eat spaghetti. So it's a that goes on a day basis.
We compromise all the time. Correct.
So let me pose something to you, Eric.
Okay.
Because this is something that you said. You said that you wanted a woman who could, and vice versa, basically reach down into the deepest parts of your soul and your spirit, right? That you wanted that type of connection, not physical, not.
But the physical is important as well. Don't get me wrong.
Of course.
But I think if you work from the inside, everything on the outside will come together.
Right. So there is a possibility that, again, because you're not the only one. Let me see who else. I saw somebody, Revolution. I'm pretty sure Steve was on another show and he said the same thing. And if you're sacrificing to toxic behavior, then you're on the wrong path. Exactly. Silky Savage. Okay. So Silky said it too. Everyone has to sacrifice, but it's the way you sacrifice. Okay. Let me say this and let me read the definition again, because this is the type of thing that I feel like we get pushed and then we don't really look into the word and the definition and the true meaning of the word or anything else. And so this is what happens. So the third definition of it is an act of giving up something of value,
right,
for the sake of something else that's regarded more important or worthy. So you're really, sacrifice is about increasing yourself by giving up. So if you look at it in that term, okay, no disrespect to what you said, but if you look at it in the term, you cannot use the fact that we can't decide where we eat one day and where we're going to go both days as a sacrifice. That's not a sacrifice, because at the end of the day, we both have to eat, and where we eat does not increase or decrease us in any manner unless we're eating garbage and fucking up our temple. You feel what I'm saying?
It's a compromise, not a
sacrifice. Is it? Like, is that truly compromise? Because what's the definition of compromise?
Look up.
What is we really?
I'm gonna tell you, the English language is the hardest language to understand because we got 1,000 definitions to one word.
Don't we though?
Right, and compromise is made up, constitute, consist of, to be made up. So this is what I'm saying. We're using these words, and we have narratives that have been attached to them for generation, and they give us a false sense of it's just like reciprocity. And I did the show on reciprocity. If I meet you, right, I'm just gonna I don't believe in love languages, because you ain't I say this all the time, you ain't about to tell me 7.9 billion people on the planet and we love 5 ways. Fuck that. I love a million different ways, and you love a million different ways, and together we love a million different ways outside of the way that we love other people. So I don't believe in love languages, but I'm using love languages
on a Tuesday.
Right? Everybody says find out what your person's love language is and then reciprocate the energy. Why? Because then I'm walking in your love language and I'm not walking in mine, because I'm reciprocating yours and you're reciprocating mine. Now all we've done is switch love languages. One of us has switched some love. That's not a sacrifice. I am never going to be, let me rephrase that because I don't like the word never. My choice and the man that was made for me is going to love to kiss. Love to kiss. Right? There is no point in me talking to a man and I say to him, I am aggressively affectionate and I will kiss you all day long, every day. As many times as I get my lips on your mouth, I am going to kiss you during the day. If you have a problem, and trust me, Gilly will tell you, my friends tell me, I think it's going to be a problem. I think it's going to be a problem. You ain't about to tell me, again, 7.9 billion people on the planet, and I'm the only one out
for you if it's a problem. If you don't want me rubbing on your earlobe and rubbing on your arm and sitting as close to you as I can at the couch, then you're not the one for me.
Right, exactly. Yep. And if I wait, why would I compromise? Why would I get with a man who kisses sometimes, but he's not really affectionate? He thinks his love language is this, and then I decrease myself. I stop my kissing. I stop my aggressive affection. behavior. I stop doing something, or I decrease it to make him happy.
That would take away your soul.
Am I truly balanced in the relationship? Are we in a balanced relationship? No, we're not.
Well, I wouldn't say that you have to stop everything, but there are times in a relationship where the thing that you love the most may have to be not put away, but it just has to be dealt with, where if you really want to work in a relationship with that man and you see something valuable in him, that he may not be fully there yet. Nobody is fully there yet. So you may have to work on those things that you so desire, and so one another can become comfortable with each other. But if you don't see something that you really want, then he's not for you. But just like a woman can have a laundry list of everything they want. I want this. They're not going to find that. They're not going to. If that was the case, they would never be within the body. You won't find every check block mark. So you're going to have to sacrifice give up some of those things, or put aside some of those, one of those 100 things on that list, to say, you know what, I can deal with 99 of those things, but that one thing, you know what, I'll let it go. But that's what I'm talking about. You will never get everything on that list.
Maybe it's because the other 99 are so valuable that the one didn't matter, and sometimes we were misguided in that list we made.
But they all valuable, and some women they all valuable. If you don't give me this, just like from a man's standpoint, a man can do 100 things, but when he don't do that 101, it's like he's a dirt bag, because it's like all those things are erased because that one thing that he didn't do, because of the attitude of a woman that says, no, I want everything, and every time when I say I want it, I want it. If you don't give it to me, then every 100 thing that you just said to me is erased.
Guess why?
Why?
Because that woman is in a capitalistic relationship with you. You know what that means? That means she is giving to you so that she can receive something from you. And that is not that has nothing to do with love. Absolutely nothing to do with love. You are to give effortlessly and selflessly in love, period. To no matter who it is, there are different energies of love, but at the end of the day, you are supposed to give, you're not there to receive. And most women are in a relationship waiting to receive something. Let me give you a little insight to at least a predominantly healed woman. I don't have a list of 100 things. You know why? Because I don't believe that you should have a list of 100 things that you should be checking off about an individual. Because again, when people ask these questions online all the time, what advice would you give? And what would you tell a man about a woman? And what would you tell a woman about a man? One word. What am I going to say, Gilly?
Love.
Heal.
Oh, that's it.
These broken ass people are sitting here like this. I need him to be funny. I need him to be funny. I need him to be cute. I need him to be successful. I need him to be 6 feet tall. I need him to have, you know what I need? I need you to have 100% integrity. I need to be that your character shows up in the dark, and that your character aligns with who you are. I need you to be selfless. I need you to be compassionate. What I need are for you as a human being first, and then as a man, and then as my person.
Exactly. Nicely said.
For you is to show up exactly as you are, at your full potential, doing the full thing that you do day in and day out, because whatever that is that you are doing in a healed relationship is going to be what the other person needs to balance themselves, because you've waited for the one instead of pushing what you want out of another person and projecting that onto them and forcing them to be something that they're not. If we would just show up who we are and how we are, and love the way that we love, and be patient and wait for the person that is intended for us, all these words that we're using tonight, sacrifice and reciprocity, would be null and void, because you get to be exactly who you are every day, every minute of every hour, and I get to be who I am. Now, that doesn't mean that, say I have a trauma that shows up and you say, baby, like that behavior right there was sideways, and you challenge me. You can challenge my knowledge. You can challenge my spirit. You can challenge my beliefs. You can challenge all of those things. That's a different conversation and a different word. But what happens if we just showed up as who we are individually and waited to be perfectly balanced with the person that we're supposed to be with individually?
Then people will see who we really are from the get-go versus way down the line, when you have now taken off the mask, because now you have got comfortable with being fake in front of the individual, and they didn't see this monster that just came out. So if you be upfront with the person, you'll be able to see whether or not you're compatible, or if you both, if you're exactly what that person is looking for.
I recently said that very same thing. You're together for a certain amount of years, and all of a sudden things start to change, and you look over and you say, you can't even fake it anymore. You can't even fake what you used to fake anymore.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
That's because they're doing so much to get the other partner. They put on this facade. Okay, let me do all the nice things this book says to do. This ain't really who I am, but I'm gonna do these things just so I can get this person, get in her pants or get in his pants, or whatever case may be. But then, like I posted before, a lot of people are so excited about the wedding, and they're not excited about the marriage.
So ridiculous. So ridiculous. I mean, the things that
they're ready to see, they're ready for everybody to see them in a pretty dress and see the nice venue, and they looking to see all the little girls who throwing flowers out, but they're not ready for the marriage. They're not ready to go through what it takes to each day to commit to one another and to love one another, and like you said, bring healing to the relationship, and not just toxic every day.
Yeah.
Kim and I are saying the same exact thing. We're both like, big marriage, ridiculous. We would not spend that much money. I'd rather have the great honeymoon or the great house.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
Kim.
Oh no, absolutely. I agree. I mean, I'm definitely, I mean, my next wedding is going to be, maybe 20 people, my closest, at some, house somewhere in the mountains or something. And we're just going to eat and drink and be merry and, say some vows and keep the party going. You know what I mean? Cause I have no desire to waste money and show everybody, first of all, I've already done that and it didn't work out. So that's the first thing, but we are, I feel like personally that between the narratives and, like me and Eric were talking earlier, and evolution and representatives and all of those things showing up, we have this idea about relationships that doesn't exist. And some of the comments are like, I just read one. I was going to read it what it said, you guys. Okay. Silky Savage says, because women are crazy. Okay, so women aren't crazy. Women are broken as fuck, and we don't hold ourselves accountable.
We're crazy by our parents, then our man.
We don't hold ourselves accountable. We don't heal. We don't address our behaviors. And, we walk around here saying all these things and doing all these things. And at the end of the day, and I've said this before, and it's a struggle for me. And maybe when it's not a struggle, that's when my person will show up. But it is definitely can be a struggle for me to have a peaceful environment for myself. So until I can give a man a peaceful environment, maybe I'm not quite ready. You feel me? Because I want for my man to walk in the door. I want him to come home. I want him to be like, I can't wait to get home. Motherfuckers like, is you crazy? No, baby, I'm not crazy at all. Matter of fact, I'm as sane as I've ever been, because the most peaceful place in this world is inside of my home with my person, with my woman. right? That is my intention. My intention is to love the shit out of somebody, not because you're obligating me to, but because that's what they deserve. My worship to man, I'm worshiping you from the time you get up to the time you leave, to the time while you're gone, till you get back home, until you fall asleep. And baby, maybe even in your sleep, I may be worshiping you for all you know. Please believe what I'm saying to you. Everything that comes from me should be worship. I should be giving you and pouring out onto you all the love that I have inside of me. And that's what all of us should be doing. But again, it goes back to what you said. Especially a lot of these, I'm not going to say all women, but a lot of women are expecting something from the man. They want something in return for good behavior. We're not fucking children. Like you said, immaturity. You brought up the word immaturity. We're not children. I shouldn't be keeping sex from you because you misbehave or you did this. I shouldn't be telling you what I'm not gonna do for you because you didn't get me the ring. I literally listened to a conversation between a man and his daughter this weekend, and he said, I'm gonna tell you what to do. Don't give him any more of that cookie until he didn't say it like that. I'm saying it like that. Don't give him any more cookie until he does right. And I said, is that really the message that you want to give your child? Because at the end of the day, if I was your woman, would you want me to, first of all, if you're in a relationship where you feel the need to punish the other person, you need to get out of that relationship immediately and address whatever problem you got, that you feel that you're so much better than somebody that you have authority over them to tell them who they need to be and how they need to be. And then you're going to dish out the punishment on it. There's enough in this world. The last thing we need to be doing as women is creating more injustice in relationships. I'm going to punish you. I'm not sucking on you or fucking on you because you didn't do this. Get the fuck out of here. I don't even understand shit. I don't even get it.
But a lot of people try to use relationship as a revenge. Now they're keeping score on who scored the most or who wrong the most. Oh, it's my turn to do you wrong. Oh, now it's my turn to do you wrong. No, it shouldn't be about revenge. It should be about pleasing and pleasure and being compassionate for one another and having that passion to love and to just hold each other, just love on one another. Like you said, if you have to go and have your argument and just have mass sex, then do that just to calm the atmosphere. But if you hold that and you said, no, you got to work for this. You got to work for this cookie. Now, why should I work for that when I done work all day long? I done show you how much I love you, how much I care for you. And now you want me to work for something that you probably ain't deserving of it. Be honest with you.
Yeah, how about you ain't deserving of the dick, so you ain't getting none? How about that? How about the men start doing that? Let that shit happen and see how long that shit fly. Let her be hot in her panties, shit aching, and she be like, baby, be like, you know what? No, because you acted an ass all week long. You ain't no dick today. I wonder how well that would go over. I would love for some men on here to do that shit just because. Ooh, and come on the show next week and tell me this is what I did and this is what I said and this is what happened. I said to a man one day, I said something about, we were talking, I'm just being honest, he's a married man, but we were talking about fellatio in a factual sense. Just about men and women using it, and you know what I mean? Mm-hmm. And I said, well, why don't you just, he was basically saying that his wife doesn't do that. Again, I told him straight up, I don't get it. I don't understand. I mean, I can't even talk to you. I don't even know what to tell you about that. That doesn't make any sense to me. But I was like, maybe you should I said, what would happen, honestly, if you just went home and y'all got in bed tonight and you'd be like, just as sweet as you could say it, and you were like, baby, why don't you come over here and put your mouth on me? You know what I mean? And his response to me was, she'd probably say, fuck you for asking me to suck your dick. And I was like, okay, so I can't even go any further in the conversation because I don't understand. First of all, what's understood don't have to be explained. Secondly, as a woman and a man, if you're, again, compatible and balanced, you don't have to ask nobody for nothing. And if you do ask them, then baby, you get exactly what you want, because I will do anything for you. You feel me? We got out of that shit. We don't do that. We don't do anything for you anymore. Baby, what do you need? How do you feel? How's your mental? What can I do for you today? Would you like me to make you a sandwich and suck your dick while you eating it? Like, I'm not saying I'm just saying, like, what can we do as women for you? Why are we not asking these type of questions? Why is it what friend, or what time, or why are you 15 minutes late, or why is you this, or why is you that? Why? First of all, again, why are you in a relationship where these questions are happening? Those are the times. If you're going to be, I guess because of the age I am and the experience that I have, I personally am not in a position where I want to get with somebody and we heal and grow together. I don't want to do that. Okay. Because first of all, I have already been in that situation where the conversation was about healing, and I witnessed a man not healing, and I witnessed me only just trying. No, I'm being honest. I didn't try to heal either, because I didn't want to. I couldn't heal in that environment anyway, and really neither could he. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But
now I'm laughing at what Savage, what Silky just wrote. he called on to that about the sandwich and head all day long.
Savage doesn't give up the D. Shut up, Jay. I'd like a sandwich. Okay, so I say this all the time, and I'm unashamed, and I should probably close the show with this, because if a man is praying for a woman, it would be this woman. This is the type of woman I am, and I'm just being honest. I'm not because it's obligatory, not because it's anything, but this is just who the fuck I am. I'm the you waking up with your dick in my mouth, so hot pussy, hot plate, packing your lunch, smacking you on the ass on the way out the door, and you coming home to a hot meal and some hot pussy. You understand what I'm telling you? That should be every woman's goal in life, to be with a man that's all you want to do for him, is those things, right? I'm not saying all day long, every day. Don't get me wrong, but it take it into context. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Women
who wouldn't want to have that affection?
I don't know. I don't know.
Who wouldn't want that?
How much better of a man would you be if you were getting that kind of attention and love? Let's talk about that. Like, who doesn't want a woman to pack their lunch every day? Okay. Who doesn't want to wake up with in their mouth, in their wife's mouth? Who doesn't? You know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying, again, I'm not saying I'm doing all this and you never do that. I envision, my person's going to be getting up on some mornings, and I'll be like, baby, he'll be like, you ain't even gotta say it, baby. I'll make the coffee this morning. Just sit put. You know what I'm saying?
Because the more you give, the more he'll want to give to you.
Right, because it's a giving, it's selfless, it's effortless, and we are stuck in the mentality. We have capitalized our relationships, and then we bring in the brokenness, and then we bring in these generational curses that we carry, and then now we just exist in this toxic energy. And the only way, and I've said this before, to get out of it is if we take responsibility for ourselves, hold ourselves accountable for our behavior. And we as a woman, because again, I'll say this again, I'm not talking to men because I don't have a dick. I'm talking to women. I'm talking about how we behave. And we're the only ones who can change the narrative that we carry in relationship to a man. I'm a whole healed woman, but I'm not balanced unless I'm with a man. Stop the bullshit about equally and if we make more money, and do you balance me? Do we balance each other? Do we come together at a place where, as we walk through this journey in life, we are as peaceful as we can be 99.9% of the time? Not talking about life circumstances, not talking about tragedies that happen that we have no control over. I'm talking literally about the moment to moment moments that we have in a relationship with each other. Are we as women, I'm asking myself every day, those talks you talked about having with yourself, am I a peaceful woman? Can I give a man a peaceful environment? Can I just give without receiving? Again, not talking about being in a toxic relationship and you're compromising who you are and decreasing yourself to make somebody else happy. I'm talking about literally giving from a place of love, of godly love, of effortless, selfless love, where you really just want to love the fuck out of somebody. Who don't want to love the fuck out of somebody? Seems like we all have that goal, but none of us can get to it. And why is that? Because we're waiting for you. I'm waiting for Eric to give me something in return. I'm going to love you, but you are going to do this to me.
Yeah. See, we have to take the other person out of the picture and do what we can do to bring to the relationship. If we take out the other person and don't even worry about what he or she does, I guarantee you, probably sooner or later, that if you start giving to that person wholeheartedly, the way that you want to give, the way that you want to lick him on the neck and kiss him all over, whatever case may be, I guarantee that that person will come in the picture and start kissing you all over the neck and licking you all over. So if we just take that person out and deal with self and what we can bring to the table. See, again, when we start worrying about what that person is going to bring, and if they don't bring it, now, okay, you didn't bring it. Okay, so I'm not going to give it to you. And now it becomes a tennis match. Oh, no, I'm not going to give it. You didn't serve me, so I'm not going to serve you. No, it shouldn't be that way.
It shouldn't.
Look to please the other person and watch what happens. And most of the time, it don't deal with material things. If you take the material things out of the picture, money, material things, and did you buy me this? Did you get me this? If you take all that out and just put love and peace and trust and honesty and loyalty in the picture, I guarantee you those material things will show up.
They absolutely will show up. They will. And you won't be concerned with them at that point either, because the relationship that you hold with each other and the love that you have for one another is going to outweigh anything monetary, of any monetary value that you have. That's why talking about high value men on a financial level, just as far as I'm concerned, is defeating, and it decreases a man. Because just because you have, I know plenty of men that have plenty of money and they are spectacular men. They're phenomenal men. I adore them. You know, they're very close friends, close acquaintance, business associates, and you know, they are exceptional men, and their pockets have nothing to do with that. Nothing. You know what I mean? And so when we speak like this and we start dividing men up by their financials and that sort of thing, and then we as women who are already with, if not narcissistic fully, then we definitely carry a bunch of narcissistic tendencies, which is the toxic masculinity. See how it all folds together? Which is the toxic masculinity that people talk about. Men don't have toxic masculinity. It's not feasible, but women's heavy masculinity turns into toxicity because we weren't intended to carry it. So you start putting all this shit into the mix, and then you just add in broken people and be like, oh, let's have some babies and make a relationship. No, that's not gonna happen. That is not going to end well. What it's going to end in is where we're at right now in this world, which is creating false narratives, creating generational curses, and praying for people that don't even exist anymore, really, because we have this idea that, okay, well, if you just give her to me this way, then I might be allowed that. But that's not the prayer. That's not what men are saying. And again, I'm gonna close the show out by saying, you know, women, hold yourself accountable. Check yourself tonight. When you get off the phone, think, is there a man on his knees tonight praying for a woman? And is that woman me? Would I be the woman that man is praying for?
That's good.
Would I be her? Am I her? Do my behaviors, are they conducive with what a man would be praying for? And again, don't make a list. I'm not talking about a list. I'm talking about your behaviors, and if they fall in line with what a man would be praying to the creator of his person who created him for you as a woman, do your behaviors coincide with that prayer? And would they coincide with that prayer? And if they don't, then you need to check your ass. You need to hold yourself accountable.
Or stay single.
Please stay single, and then don't bitch about being single either. Just stay. Yeah. Like, there's plenty of women that are out here and men that are like, you know, I'm just going to stay single. Good for you. I appreciate it. You know, my daughter told me this weekend, I know how you are. You be falling all in love, and you know, get all in your feelings and in your emotions, and then you get your feelings hurt. And then guess what I told her? And I'm going to do it all over again too, because there's nothing more powerful and nothing more important in this world than love. Not one damn thing. And if I have to have a broken now and again to get to the person, I'm not staying single, Silky Savage. I was made for a man. I was absolutely 100% created for a man. And there is a man out there that was 100% created for me.
I agree.
I'm going to be patient and continue to prepare myself and check myself and hold myself accountable until he finds me. Until he has prayed his last prayer on that last day, and the next day his prayer will be, thank you. Thank you, and thank you again. So for everybody who showed up, let me see if I can get you. Eric, thank you so much for coming on. I appreciate you. Stay single. Thanks, Silky Savage. I think I'm a great one too. Absolutely. Silky Savage. I think Shannon, and she said dating coffee doesn't sound half bad. Or Shanna, sorry, Shanna, Jay, Gilly, K Boogie's here, Steve. I can't even say everybody's name that's on here. So, and Eric, again, thank you. I appreciate you. And I get to your show every chance I get. So I will definitely be back there. If you haven't already, everyone subscribe, like, share the shit out of the show. I have to go to bed. I got to be up at 4 a.m. to travel home tomorrow, but I appreciate y'all and I'm grateful for you. And, women, let's check ourselves, please. Jim Savage, I freaking adore you. Gilly, girl, I got to see Gilly this weekend, y'all. Literally, like, put my damn hands on her, like, squeeze her, hug her, cry with her, laugh with her, smoke with her. And it was definitely a beautiful experience. And I appreciate that she showed up tonight because it's been a rough week. And it's been a very challenging weekend for us. So Jim Savage, my producer, who is the dopest dude I know, savagecom.entertainment. Again, subscribe. You can still like and comment. You can still go back and watch the show. He will get it published for us every Tuesday night, 8 p.m. Central Time, 9 p.m. Eastern Time. I'm also on Podbean on Sunday nights at 9 p.m. Central Time. I've been gone a few weeks, but just because I have such an enormous amount of stuff going on. So thank you guys for showing up. I believe in each and every one of you. And for all the men that are on here, especially the Black men, I love you. I appreciate you. You are valuable. You are important, and you are so needed. And just be patient and wait for a healed woman. She'll show up. Thanks, guys. Good night.
Heard about that VSOB season 2? Shit, I'm on my way right now. Spain. That's that show right there. Y'all better tune in. Make sure y'all subscribe. And hit that motherfucking like button. I'm tired of y'all sitting there watching the show and not hitting that like button. Alright, I'm almost there. I'll see you at the show, baby. VSOB season 2! Ah! Sponsoring ourselves. Come on, Savage Cobb, entertainment, baby. We savage in this bitch. Ow. Savage Cobb, entertainment.